into Franklin 1 playing a log bait deck.
Balloon in the center still gets pulled by that tower. Successfully defended by that Archer Queen and Spear Goblins.
On the right, we're just going to be going into overtime. Neither player has a big spell.
But that minor chip may be the game here.
Has to poison defend though, or freeze. Don't know why I said poison.
With the Queen gone, that balloon may get something here, but without a tank for it, it easily dies to the tower. Not even death damage there. And Dark Goblin still getting value, just sniping across that river.
On the left side, Franklin 1 doesn't quite have Inferno Tower in cycle for that Hog Rider.
A defensive miner leaves Sandy Creek without any way to get more damage here. Here's a balloon into the Queen.
You know what he really has to do is just like get some good push going and just bait out the Queen so he can get, that's his only really good counter.
But even with that bomb tower, it's difficult for him to get even death damage there.
Yeah, he can just, Sandy Creek is just playing this really good on both sides.
With a good E-Dragon or Inferno Dragon, they could take out that building possibly. But here comes Spear Goblins, the Tornado takes it out. And we go to full health E-Dragon. Offensive miner, because the Queen is still there to defend. If we can take out this Queen here, this could be a good push. Or just place Balloon into it.
On the left side, just starting overtime. It's looking,
That miner connects. Looks like that may be the game.
it's like Franklin 1's gonna start rocket cycling before it even gets triple elixir. Gonna see, Sandy Creek has an earthquake.
With that King Tower activation though, it's easier for them to get away with that rocket. Still struggling to catch up on the damage.
That monk just keeps chipping away when he pops the ability. Really haven't seen any monk yesterday.
Yeah. Quite interesting. We're still seeing a lot of the same things. A lot of log bait, a lot of hog cycle. But we're yet to see as much graveyard. And with that log, not enough to kill the firecracker.
We'll see.
Looks like we're
Franklin
gonna get some
1.
firecracker splash, and that's not enough to defend the hog rider. That's just earthquake log.
That's just
Or a
one
monk ability here.
Yeah. That's first round. Well, not quite.
Not quite.
I
Here
guess.
comes the earthquake.
There we go. First round for Sandy Creek. He's leading 1-0.
Good close game. With only Inferno Tower, that Hog Rider is almost sure to get some amount of value. Here we are starting our second round between Sandy Creek 1 and Franklin 1. Catches that miner with the Dark Prince.
Central Valley did beat Sandy Creek 2 in the overall and will be in the championship game against the winner of the game on the left side.
Mother Witch on bats along with a Goblin Giant. This could be a big push right here. Rage. It spawns even more pigs, but guards on that Mother Witch. Still spawn another pig, but finally kill it. Goblin Giant getting lots of hits.
On the right side, we have Alma versus Walthill. Alma's currently up 1-0 in this set against Walthill. It's going minor control into a E-Golem E-Barbs battle healer deck.
On the left here from Flankman, we're seeing Miner with E-Giant. Not a combo you see every day. But it may help with that Sparky a little. But we'll see. It's really difficult with E-Giant to push into a Sparky.
We'll see if Franklin ends up having lightning here. That'd be quite helpful, but I don't know with this interesting archetype. Does have a zap though.
We may find an Earthquake instead. Possibly even a poison to go with that Miner.
Definitely all possibilities. On the right side, looks like Walthill's starting to build up an E-Golem push.
High bomb tower. Fireball on the Magic Archer. Does a lot of that damage. Kills the first stage of that E-Golem. But that Battle Healer is still splashing heal on the E-Golem. Arrows on the skeletons, and that's going to be quite a bit of damage still. Zap and Tornado.
Does spam the E-Barbs in.
Bomb tower is back. Places Knight right on top. Gives up a bit of that value. Skeletons as well.
That's a great defense from Alma over here. Looked like almost no damage.
Franklin 1 really struggling to take care of that Mother Witch. Getting lots of value on those bats and guards. Here come the bats. And
Mother
the Mother
Witch
Witch on the
just
bats.
keeps getting those.
But that E-Wiz comes down. Great play from the E-Wiz.
That E-Wiz will be quite helpful defending that Sparky.
But we're back to Mother Witch, and that'll be several pigs here.
Walthill has those E-Barbs coming down, but Alma just keeps defending them. It's such a good defense with this minor control deck.
Places that bomb tower high again, allows those spear goblins to get some hits. Dark Prince jumps across.
See if he has a NATO here.
Opposite lane kite with those wall breakers. A great play. Nothing
Both
to
of those
kite
wall
back.
breakers connect.
Miner comes down on that battle healer. Another great defense.
On the left side, Franklin 1. Not looking too good for him with this big push coming in from Sandy Creek. And that's going to be game for Sandy Creek 2-0.
Alma still placing those miners on the right side.
It's looking pretty close overall between Alma and Walthill.
Arrows and fireball, just spell cycling now. Still placing miner on the right. Doesn't seem to see that only 800 on the left.
Difficult. That's one thing with minor control. You normally want to go opposite lane. It's interesting that he's choosing to go into it.
And without poison, he's going to be struggling to get that last 800 damage. That arrow's fireball is going to just be cleaning up this tower here.
That's 1 arrows.
We'll likely be seeing that very soon. That's
And
the
there it
game.
is, tying it up 1-1 between Walthill and Alma in this set.
Starts off with an Ice Spirit Hog Rider. Looks like we're going to be facing some P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam. Pushes all same lane. But without a reset tool
Looks like
left,
it's gonna work.
Battle Ram connects.
And opting to go with the Mighty Miner opposite lane.
And that's the tower.
It's the tower for Walthill that early in the game. Especially with P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam, he can just defend.
And this Miner cycle is going to be struggling to find another tower in just 2 minutes 20. Unless he shows some other big card. Possibly a lightning. Cycles a Tesla. Early goblins, giving that E-Wiz a bit
Really
more value.
early. Doesn't even quite finish off the E-Wiz.
But Tesla will clean up.
We'll see what Walthill chooses to do here.
Perfectly fine leaking here. As Alma
Goes-
recovers this elixir. Battle Ram into the Tesla. Immediately cleaned up.
Play. P.E.K.K.A. in the pocket. Walthill just doesn't want to give Alma too big of a push here. It's to keep applying pressure. Especially with P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam not having a building.
See what spell
Normally anyways.
we see from Alma. That could mean the difference in this game. We'll likely still see a poison or fireball yet from Walthill. Ghost on the firecracker, but the knockback allows it to be tanked forward by that Mighty Miner. He kind of push, stopped by that E-Wiz though. Switches lanes.
Catches the bats with the switching lanes. Decides to full push this lane.
Goslin's opposite lane.
Some really good split lane pressure, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
This is a zap. Goblins connect.
That's some really good damage for Alma, but Walthill just keeps spamming in that pocket.
P.E.K.K.A. to tank for those spear goblins, and that'll be a lot of damage.
Still shooting the P.E.K.K.A. Those spear goblins. Roll delivery not on the spear goblins, but instead on the
Taking that
P.E.K.K.A.
tower down to below 1,000 health.
Alma did get other lane tower though, so we're gonna have to see here if Alma can just keep defending and get a couple of hogs through. He might be able to pull this back.
Kites back those barbarians with the hog rider, and with that mighty miner trick, this 2-tower situation may benefit Alma.
It's looking like Walthill just keeps spamming in the pocket. Doesn't want Alma to build up that big push.
Forcing out that mighty miner, not allowing it to be used on offense. It's going to be really vital here.
If he can get that mighty miner in the pocket and just switch lanes,
But
without Walthill having zap,
that
firecracker splashing on tower though.
That is the game.
And that's going to be a comeback from Alma. Losing a tower that early and coming back and still winning. Winning that whole set 2-1.
Just not having a building in that matchup is brutal.
That currently it looks like we're going to have Sandy Creek 1 and Central Valley playing for first place. And then okay, coming back, looks like we're going to have Franklin 2 and Sandy Creek 2 on the left. And on the right, we're going to have Franklin 1 and Walthill.
Good luck, everyone.
Fire Spirit blocked by skeletons. Another firecracker in the back.
Yes, go ahead and start.
Seeing Hog against some other cycle deck. Hog versus Hog looks like. Activates King Tower with the Hog. Dodges a firecracker shot.
Goes in
Predict
for a
log.
low cannon.
And does full counter.
Sandy Creek 2 goes in for a giant at the bridge, and then a barbarian's opposite lane. Franklin 2 opting to go on the offense.
Not enough elixir to defend those barbs. That's going to be a lot of damage.
Can't defend the barbs. That looks like that's going to be an early tower for Sandy Creek 2. Amazing push coming in there. Knowing that Franklin 2 can't defend both sides when he goes in for the offensive with the bar barrel, or goblin barrel.
Princess is into that mini P.E.K.K.A. Doesn't get any value.
Big push from Walthill.
Late cannon on the right screen here. Hog gets 3 hits, along with some splash from that firecracker. Defends the firecracker with another firecracker. Hits tower. Walthill up by a good 1,500 damage. Firecracker defends the baby dragon. Still splashes on tower 1. Hits the barbarians as well. Valkyrie low. Gives that firecracker some value. Log comes in. Only allows it 1 hit. But that tower is down below 1,000 health. Late arrows on the bar barrel. But allows the mini
like
P.E.K.K.A. to
Franklin
connect.
2 doesn't have quite enough elixir for that. He's going for the late Skarmy. Only 200 of health left on his tower. Gonna have to see if he can make a comeback here.
Struggling to get damage with his bait cards into that arrows and the firecracker.
On the right side, Franklin 1 goes in for a split lane push with the Mega Knight Hog Rider.
Giant tanks that Mega Knight jump. And the firecracker to do damage. That push is dead. This is goblins with the log. Several hits. Skeletons over defend the
Franklin
firecracker.
2 on the left side looking like he's in a pretty good position with only 30 seconds left and 2 towers up with almost no damage on his towers. Looking like he
Giant
might
comes
be
in.
able to secure this one.
Will we see the barbs? Only Valve to defend that giant. Playing that log bait without Inferno Tower is really dangerous. Don't have much for those big pushes.
On the right side, looks like Walthill almost has this. Just needs a Earthquake log. Just one Earthquake now. Yeah, and Walthill gets first round, along with Sandy Creek 2 getting the first round. Winners of these matches will go on and play for 3rd place. The losers will go and play for 5th.
Ram Rider first play. Got only Goblin Gang to defend. That'll still get a charge.
Sandy Creek 2 has this really good, like, just split lane push at the beginning.
Baits out that Swarm card, but still has guards to counter. Waste that E-Wiz though.
Looking like this might be at Walthill might be playing Royal Giant.
Franklin 1 is looking like a Lava Hound deck. I don't think I've seen that all day though.
Yeah, there were a couple yesterday, but haven't seen any today. Franklin 2 going in with that Lumber Loon push. Sandy Creek getting the bomb tower pull. Doesn't even get the balloon in the rage.
Looks like we may be seeing a Golem. Some form of beatdown from Franklin 1 here.
Sandy Creek 2 going with the Ram Rider at the bridge and can't defend this push.
Going for a tower trade. Franklin 1 isn't quite able to defend both Royal Ghosts with how little elixir they have.
That's an Inferno Dragon on the tower.
Archers clean it up though.
Sandy Creek 2 is down by a tower here. We'll have to see.
Neither side shows a win condition yet on this right side here.
Walthill is doing really good at making it so Franklin 1 just always has no elixir. He's always on the defense. Can never really build up a good push with his win condition.
Now leaking out that elixir, giving Franklin 1 back this even playing field. See, here they come in with the Golem at
It's
the
like
bridge.
E-Giant deck. Or E-Golem. What I'm saying.
That Rage plus arrows
Might be a
should kill the
fireball
Zappies,
here.
but they do not come down with the arrows. Mirror
Mirror.
arrows. Get some good damage on the tower, but it's not enough.
Franklin 2 has some pretty good push coming in on Sandy Creek on the left side.
Fireball on the pigs. Good defense. Looks like they've got enough elixir for another push here. Rage arrows does in fact kill those Zappies. Looks like they're going to splash it, trying to splash it with that Skeleton King instead. It is effective. Rage kills, finishes them off. Those elixir blobs with the Rage will get a lot of damage.
Looks like that's tower for Franklin.
Only 8 seconds left. Do they have a Mirror Hogs? No, they go for the skeleton, for the giant skeleton. Not fast enough to reach the tower.
Left side, 10 seconds, 10 damage left on the tower.
Great
Barely
close
doesn't
game.
get it. Close games on both sides. Tying it up 1-1 on both the screens.
Nice towards the back. We may be seeing our first graveyard of the day. Saw a lot of that yesterday.
Looks like left side, Sandy Creek 2 is going to be playing that Monk Hog deck that we've seen before.
Fireball, but Dark Prince still has its shield. Gets a good tower connection there.
That's a lot of damage for Franklin 2. It's a lot of early damage too. Already in single elixir against a Hog Rider.
Bandit with the tanks for the miner.
Bandit
Gets
gets
a
a
dash on tower.
dash. Oh, Franklin 2 with the Magic Archer connection through the Witch takes that tower.
Hogs defended by bats on this right screen here. It's not enough. That's going to be some good damage. They just show a small spell. It'll be easy to take out these bats and Dart Goblin. Bandit connects. Late Prince. No elixir to defend that Dart Goblin. It's going to be a good, possibly 1,000 damage there.
Walthill still doing the same thing where he just keeps Franklin on the defense the whole time. Doesn't give him time to build up any good pushes.
He's really good with this bridge spam archetype. Just using these cards that are very effective on their own with very niche counters. Forces negative elixir trades on Franklin 1's defense. Lumberjack comes down. Will we see much to push with it? Protects Princess, but the rage still drops and kills it. No elixir to defend that Prince. It may still get a dash on the tower. Bats come down, defend it. And there's the Hogs on the right lane. Defended with Dark Prince.
On the left side, there's 45 seconds left, and Franklin 2 is just trying to defend all of these pushes. He's up a tower, just needs to try to defend for 30 more seconds.
Franklin 1 doing a good job of catching these miners, not allowing Walthill to get any more damage. Princess is still alive on the right. Gonna have to do something with that or it'll keep getting value. As for the offensive miner, nothing to catch it. That'll be rocket damage for just 3 elixir.
On the right side, the Royal Hogs blocked the Dart Goblin. So they got through. That's a poison, just needs one more.
Just a miner and any good connection from any other card. And that left tower will be gone though. Goes for the log.
Left side looks like Franklin 2 took the win over Sandy Creek 2.
A good Dart Goblin might be the game here. Goes in with the balloon, but it's too late. Doesn't defend the Prince.
That's defense. Despite Walthill's good pushes, Franklin 1 still comes out ahead on that one.
Those small elixir advantages don't really give you as much of an advantage in double elixir.
You got to be careful too with your leaking elixir. When you have the advantage, sometimes it's hard to recognize that, but you don't want to give it back to them.
Indeed.
It's the tough part about the game.
Franklin 2 and Sandy Creek 2 back with their next players. He was the back. The Valk Wallbreakers. Zap is not enough to defend that. Both Wallbreakers will connect. Skarmy to defend the Ewiz. It's a great push. Just 30 seconds into the game. Kites that Skarmy.
On the left side, looks like that Ram Rider still gets on tower for one hit.
Stops that dash with the zap though. Only half the damage. Magic Archer and Ewiz, both same lane, will be defended by that Witch, although they may want to place a tank so that Magic Archer doesn't get its geometry. Here it is. That's going to be a lot of damage.
The Sandy Creek 2 Magic Archer connection, and that's 1,000 damage just from being able to pierce through. That's what's so good about the Magic Archer. If you can get it on the tower, it just, your whole tower, it's just gone.
Easily takes that lead back from the Valk Wallbreakers. Still, Golden Knight dash finishes off those Wallbreakers after the zap.
On the right side, Franklin 1 got some sort of connection. Just that flying machine and that barbarian just took all his tower, only has 800 health left.
Another Wallbreaker connect though. Franklin 1 has not shown a big spell. And we may see Walthill being able to get
Sandy
more
Creek
Wallbreakers.
2 with the Magic Archer again, just piercing through that Valkyrie on defense.
Just really got to avoid placing those cards in the center lane.
Just playing with the Magic Archer so well. that it just limits all of Franklin 2's possibilities.
Indeed. With a dasher, that'll still connect the tower. Does not defend it. That's 2 extra hits.
It's a really big push from Franklin 1 coming in. I don't know if Walthill's going to be able to fully defend this.
Now with that rage and the flying machine connect on tower, that's up 1-0.
And Franklin's just going to keep spamming in this pocket here.
Keep
He's
going.
Just gonna keep going.
With only 30 seconds left, there's just about no way Walthill can defend and take a tower.
And with that flying machine on the tower, it just shreds. One flying machine. And there it is, the 3 crown for Franklin 1. First game. Winners of these games go to the match to play for 3rd place. Loser goes to the match to play for 5th.
We're gonna need a zap or something on that.
Looks like he's going to have the Magic Archer on the left again, piercing through and taking that whole tower.
Yeah, waste that fireball on the Ram Rider.
I love to see it on the left. Sandy Creek 2 taking out that whole tower with pretty much just a couple Ram Rider hits and a Magic Archer. It's
Indeed.
just so satisfying when you get those Magic Archer lineups.
Indeed. Looks like a log bait again. Early zap.
Zaps too early and gives Goblin Barrel the full damage.
It's about half of the tower gone. And with the rocket, if they can just defend, they will have a good time closing this out in overtime.
Sandy Creek 2 goes in for the miner on Franklin.
Inferno Tower and log. Ewis is not able to reach the Inferno Tower in time.
This is a tough matchup for Walthill. Pekka Bridge Spam going into log bait with the Inferno Tower, especially the log will help, but it's just a very tough matchup to win.
Indeed. Struggles to get any damage through.
But on the left side,
Opposite
Sandy
rocket,
Creek
nothing.
2 gets that Dark Goblin connection with the Prince taking, takes out 2,000 damage off of Franklin 2's tower.
Miner on the Princess. Doesn't appear that they have anything for this. There comes the arrows.
Here's the Archer Queen ability.
Will they activate it? There it comes. Magic Archer will still get a hit on the tower. Ooh, Bandit connects the tower.
Franklin has the defensive Goblin Barrel, but the Bandit still gets through.
Firecracker
That
gets
is
a hit
a lot
just
of
before the
damage for
log.
Franklin. Franklin is up this push from Sandy Creek 2 with 5 elixir, and if you don't do anything about it, that's your whole tower gone. There's that Dark Goblin. It's so hard to deal with, especially
Still
when
opting
you're
to
playing.
rocket that second tower. Left tower. Going for the split lane here. But with only 400 health left, they are in rocket range. Rocket log.
Franklin 1 really trying to get this win here. Putting everything on defense and just going to try to spell cycle in overtime. Not even going for the offensive Goblin Barrels. He's saving it for the Bandit. These
Indeed.
crazy defense plays.
Walthill going for its own rockets. Without anything to get value on.
That's a log and a zap.
Let's see what they can do. Comes the
40
Goblin Barrel,
seconds left game.
and they've not enough.
Franklin won 2-0 over Walthill in that set. And the left side, 20 seconds left on this game. Can Franklin 2 take one of those towers? It's looking unlikely with the defense that Sandy Creek has put up so far.
They're going to need to show a Sparky or something to go with that Goblin Giant. Without even a rage,
There's
they just
no
don't have
time.
any way to take it in time.
Looks like that's going to be game for Sandy Creek beating Franklin 2. Sandy Creek 2 beating Franklin 2.
2-0.
2-0.
Miner the King Tower.
That's an interesting play from Walthill. Coming into
Hog Earthquake with Rage as well. That'll be 2 hits, even with that E-Wiz.
well,
Very interesting. It's the King Tower activation on that Firecracker. Still kind of pushing.
the Walthill has now activated both King Towers successfully. Franklin 2 misses the log on the Goblin Barrel. Goblins get a couple stabs in.
Quite interesting to have the same player activate both King Towers in a single match.
Don't see that every day at a state tournament.
No, you don't. Comes the Hog Rider Rage Earthquake again.
Valkyrie for Franklin 2 on Sandy Creek's right tower. That's a lot of damage. Sandy Creek 2's right tower is now only down to 600 health, especially when you're playing log bait. That single elixir chip damage is exactly what you need.
Mega Knight connects on the right side here. Looks like Walthill may be able to pull this off anyway. E-Wiz connects. Firecracker just saves the tower. Goblin Barrel distracts in front of the tower for just a little bit. Allows the Spear Goblins to get a little bit more hits. Uses that arrows early. That Goblin Barrel comes out soon.
Walthill goes in for the miner on the Princess Tower this time.
You should take that. Only 148 left. Just maybe 4 minor hits.
Really good bomb tower from Franklin here. Pulls the Mega Knight and the Witch.
Just a minor log. Should be enough to take care of that tower. Don't have to defend that Hog Rage. Late Rage.
Franklin's just trying to get any connection here in the last 30 seconds. Can't let that miner on his tower. The miner's
Fails to
on.
catch the miner.
It's like
in
that's
that tower. That's that 1 health for a bit.
Unless if Franklin can do something in the next 10 seconds.
You need a Rage on that Witch. There's the Earthquake.
On
Good
the
Earthquake
left side-
prediction.
Left side, it looks like Franklin 2 just took a tower on Sandy Creek 2 with 30 seconds left.
Pulls out that cannon for the last defense of the game, and that Hog Raider cannot get any hits. And that is game on this right screen here.
On the left, Franklin 2 just keeps cycling those firecrackers. Keeps chipping away at the tower. But the Inferno Tower's on the left, and it's still not quite enough for Sandy Creek 2 to get anything.
Takes the first game. Lumberland first play on the right here. But Bomb Tower Tornado. Make a good counter for that. Comes the Prince the Bridge on the left. Kite back with the wall breakers.
Good pull from Franklin 2.
There's a minion horde. That'll still be a dash on tower though. Will they come out with the miner now? See what they have for those.
On the right, looks like Walthill's going to be playing E-Giant Lumberjack.
Off the tornado away. They're able to come
Normally
back.
with the Inferno Dragon, you see it tornado it to the Electro Giant because when things hit the Electro Giant that are close to it, they zap them, which like resets them.
Get reset, then Inferno Dragon heat up.
When the Inferno Dragon attacks, it just shreds things. Like that tower,
That tower's
it's
gone.
gone. That's a really good play from Franklin 1 right there. Walthill didn't have enough elixir to defend it.
May have been trying to tornado that for Inferno Dragon opposite lane. You sometimes see that as an option.
Yeah,
But didn't, it still was able to pull back.
didn't quite hit it. Franklin 2, looking like he's up a lot of damage on the left.
That giant
Does have
is
a-
going to take tower if left alone. Here comes the minion horde. But now there's no
It's a
elixir for
bit
that
late,
knight.
though. It's looking like Sandy Creek 2 just keeps getting those pushes in.
Good comeback. They have good opportunity for both towers.
It's just what you need, especially when you're playing E-Bar push deck.
Here comes the Inferno Dragon.
Did Tornado 2 it this time?
Doesn't Tornado at all. Opts to defend that Mega Knight instead.
Which isn't the worst idea, actually.
But still gets that jump on tower.
He has NATO for this balloon now, though.
Indeed.
That'll be quite useful.
Probably NATO right last second here. Misses the balloon.
This is the balloon. That is
Balloon connects.
unfortunate for Walthill.
3 hits, and that is the tower.
Hate to see it. But it looks like there was a tower trade.
Prince charge on King
We'll
Tower.
have to see how this works on the left side. 1,300 damage left for Franklin 2 on the left side.
Still going for that 3 crown on Sandy Creek 2. Despite having more damage on the Princess Tower. Only 44 seconds.
It's tied up 1-1 on the right screen between Franklin and Walthill. Looks like Walthill's going to be playing most likely that log bait. And then it's that E-Golem healer
Once
deck.
again.
Gonna have to see how he can defend it. Does he have an E-Giant here?
High Inferno Tower gets sniped by those Spear Goblins. Doesn't show a spell for that Dark Goblin. Allows it to get a lot of value.
The Spear Goblins take care of it, though. Bit late, but
They do come in.
on the left side, Ebarb's King Tower. Does he have a
Musketeer
rage
in the
here?
rain. Fireball comes in.
And that's Franklin 2 with a 3 crown on Sandy Creek 2, winning 2-0.
Wow. What we see.
Some really good offense pushes. And then the defense, you just defend it and then get that big counter push going. Makes it really hard for Sandy Creek 2 to get anything done.
Walthill getting some good single elixir damage. But continuing to go with that high Inferno Tower. Not quite getting its full value. But that Dark Goblin is still putting in the work. A little bit of damage, but not all that much. Gonna have to defend that double Prince push there. Goes with a Tesla. Misses a bat with the Rage, but that doesn't matter. That should still be tower.
It's a lot of damage there for Walthill and the tower. That push is really good.
Indeed.
And then with that, it's a lot of damage.
Yeah, you just can't push same lane into a double Prince player.
Yeah, it's really difficult because they take their defense and then they just push with it, and it's really difficult to get any sort of damage through.
Going opposite lane now, trying to save that King Tower. Looks like we've got a pretty good push going here.
The Dark Goblin on the King Tower, if he just keeps doing that, that's 500 damage
Mini
each
Fecker
time.
connects the tower, but it's not quite enough.
Princess on the King Tower. That is,
Gonna have to do something about that. With only 20 seconds left, they're more worried about taking that tower there. 2 bats split over.
500 damage left.
If they can get this 3 crown here, it could be huge. They can
The
drop a
double
rage or
healer
something.
down. Franklin.
Nothing to kill that Skarmy though, and it gets a lot of value. There's a Rage on defense. Looks like that Prince is just putting in the work. We don't have much to take care of them. This E-Golem really struggles to get enough damage fast enough.
Princess
without
on the
that
King
Rage.
Tower.
Bats
Mini
again
Pekka
to
on the
defend.
other King Tower. This is a really close match.
Only 500 health. No big spell from Walthill. They may not be able to continue defending. Here comes the Prince.
Prince
The dash
on
can
King
get there
Tower.
fast enough. Skarmy to defend. But with that battle
Mini
healer,
Pekka, 70 damage left.
wow.
70 damage
comes
left
back.
from Walthill.
Prince with that hit last second.
Walthill barely steals that game, taking them 2-1 over Franklin. That is such a close game. With only 70 damage left,
Yeah.
it's one hit from pretty much anything.
It's really hard to balance that offense and defense there when you're so low. Both sides are so low.
It takes a lot of skill to know which, if you're going to push, defend, what you're going to do.
Too much offense, you lose your tower. Too much defense, you never take theirs.
Exactly. That's why it's such a difficult game. Okay, coming back, we got our championship game on the right between Sandy Creek 1 and Central Valley.
From Sandy Creek here, we have playing first, so number 3, Logo Pogo, or Logan Sanders, playing second, who is their number 2. Sinister 90, who is Sawyer Voorhees. Excuse my pronunciation. And finally, they'll be playing the number 1 Sinister Moose 11, who is Alston Clark. From Central Valley, they'll have at number 3 Z-Goat, or Zevin Wolf. Number 2, the Grim Reaper, who's Tristan Grimm. And number 1, Xaver, who's Xaver Wolf.
It's going to be interesting to see who is going to be the Division 4 NSCSA State Clash Royale champion.
We're going to have Sandy Creek 2 versus Walthill.
And then on the other screen will be
Franklin 2 versus
Franklin 2 versus Walthill. No, wait. Yeah.
Playing for third place here.
We're going to have Sandy Creek 1 versus Central Valley. Players, you may begin when ready.
Their order is 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Logo Pogo for Sandy Creek 1, and Z-Goat for Central Valley.
Okay, and on the left, we have Franklin 2 versus Franklin 1. So a bit of a maybe school bragging rights might happen. And they did also play each other earlier. First round, Franklin 1 beat them 3-0. We're going to see if anybody gets a revenge get back here.
Looks like we've got that Queen Hog Cycle into this possibly Lumberloon.
Seen a lot of Lumberloon in the past days.
Indeed. Especially with this recent meta, there's been a lot of lack of air defense. Although the meta does change between this esports program and the actual game with the absence of evolution and Little Prince.
Yes. Looks like on the left side, not much has been happened. Just kind of defending, making little pushes. Looks like Franklin 2 might be playing a hog. Still uncertain.
Here comes the Lumberloon. Defends with Archer Queen and a cannon. Magic Archer fails to find any geometry. And looks like we may find a get
Unfortunate when that happens. It's always nice to see some Magic Archer connections.
Indeed. Queen ability wasted on that defense. Doesn't get any damage. But that building gets taken, and we will probably see a Hog Rider here. Here it comes. That Fire Spirit, defended by the Ice Spirit there. Let's see.
I don't know.
No more hits from that Hog there.
Sandy Creek down by 1,300 damage on that tower.
But with the Lumberloon, it's so easy to get a ton of damage in just one push.
That's all you really need, especially now that you're in double elixir.
They may be running that freeze here, but they also might have another spell. We'll see.
Freeze could be quite likely.
But oftentimes, there's the arrows. That's their spell.
Looks like there's a low Inferno tower on the left. Doesn't quite pull the hog. Goes down a bit of damage.
Balloon gets one hit and death damage. Hog Rider doesn't get any damage.
That Electro Wizard's really good on defense. Just zapping everything and making it so it can't move.
Indeed. Here comes a little bit of opposite lane pressure. Oh, probably trying to bait out that building there for a good balloon push. But they're not back to their cannon. Outcycled by the Hog. And that's 3 hits. Bringing that tower down along with the Earthquake. Below 500.
Central Valley can just keep Earthquake cycling here. Sandy Creek really needs to get some breakthrough.
Trying to pushes that balloon closer to that cannon with those bats. The bats may be able to tank or take out. There's another cannon.
On the left side, it looks like Franklin gets a breakthrough.
Lots of bat hits.
Rage.
Kite back with the Knight, but not enough elixir for the Queen. And not back to cannon yet.
That Rage.
That Rage balloon. That's the game.
That's game for Sandy Creek.
A great close game. Only 2 Earthquakes away.
That's what we're saying about with the Lumberloon. You just need one good push, Doesn't matter. You outcycle them or you get them, catch them when they're no elixir, and then they just can't keep defending it.
Starting off with another Lumberloon, as we're just saying, on this left screen here.
Especially when they're out of cycle at the beginning of the match. That's already half the tower gone.
E-Bob gets 2 hits, but it's not enough to make up for that balloon there. But that baby dragon will continue to get damage with almost no elixir from Franklin 1.
And then going,
There's the E-Wiz.
it's unfortunate with those wall breakers. We place the E-Wiz, but
Indeed. With that Heal Spirit and Rage, we're likely seeing possibly E-Golem here, or maybe another balloon deck. Lots of hog hits there. Tesla's still alive to take care of that Electro Dragon. Places that Valkyrie low. That may splash the tower. Not quite. But the second shot will. E-Barb's opposite lane. With a Rage. Nothing to defend. Comfortably sitting at 7 elixir. Oh, waiting for that mirror E-Barbs on the opposite side. Heal Spirit comes in with the first
that's going
E-Barbs.
to be a big push. Can
With
Sandy Creek defend that?
Only 4 elixir.
Doesn't look like he can. That's going to be
That's
a lot
going to be
of
the
damage.
close to tower.
That
It is tower,
tower.
along with a level 12 E-Barb with that mirror buff.
That is
on the
great
opposite
for
lane.
Central Valley over here. And on the other side, Franklin 1 just took a tower off of Franklin 2.
Both sides on this right screen here with Rage. It's just, it could turn at any point with just a good, solid elixir advantage, and you can easily just take a tower in less than 5 seconds. Both sides leaking on the left here. Hog Rider opposite lane. Finally point out that E-Golem with the Battle Healer. That E-Dragon very effective at taking out the Witch, and will also continue to splash those E-Barbs.
I have to see if Sandy Creek can defend this or not.
Rage on that Battle Healer. And now that E-Dragon splashes tower through the E-Barb and Valk.
It's like on the
Valk
left
gets just
side,
far
there's
enough
a
away.
tower trade. Franklin 1 still up 2-1 with towers. With that Rage on the minion horde, he still doesn't quite get through.
Chaining that Electro Dragon, just getting so much value, and without a big spell or a good air glass cannon, that Electro Dragon there just gets so much value every time it's placed. Effective defense there, but still with
It's
those
like there might
E-Barbs.
be a 3-crown coming in. There is from Franklin 1 with that Lumber Loon push over Franklin 2.
Here comes
winning
the Rage
2-0.
Valk. Is it enough? The double E-Dragon just stuns, slows it down enough. One more hit on tower with only 172 left. They
not
cannot
even
zap enough times. They're going to need a hog hit there. Only 5 seconds left.
Goes Hog opposite
Hog
lane.
opposite lane with a Rage possibly, but it's not enough.
Doesn't quite have enough.
Great close game. Only
Tied up.
172.
Tied up between Central Valley and Sandy Creek in the Division 4 championship.
This is a really important game to win here. Archer split in the back from Z-Goat. The Bomber in the back from Logo Pogo. Ops to Bar Barrel low. With the Tesla will not take out that Archer. That'll still get a hit on the tower. Ice Spirit takes out the Bomber. Here comes the Expo. Haven't seen this yet today.
Looks like this is a really
Expo
unfortunate
connects.
matchup. If this
Bomb
is the
tower
day-
late.
If this is E-Giant, this is a really unfortunate matchup for Central Valley. Still got a really early Expo connection, though.
Yeah, with that single Elixir connect, that's how Expo wins this year. Or
It's
rather, how
really-
either side wins it.
Really the only way Expo is going to be able to. Otherwise, you can just save E-Giant. On the left side, though, it looks like Franklin just got a big push through. Franklin, too, didn't quite have enough Elixir to defend that.
Down to 400 health.
With that log on all of it.
Wall breakers get through, but
Not
Prince
quite.
hits it. Wow. Somehow
That
Prince
really
retargets.
just
Hit everything but the Dark Prince there.
looks like Sandy Creek's going to opt to not save E-Giant for Expo. But
Goes
instead
in
go
very
for a
offensively.
push here.
Likely going for a lightning on that Tesla there. Is Central Valley back to the Tesla?
Yeah,
No lightning comes out.
definitely is.
Lightning late. Saving that Elixir. That's a good defense.
Central Valley is going to probably want to go in for an Expo here.
Hardly up an Elixir though. But with the E-Giant, not
Potentially in archers.
places his tank in the back. Expo the middle. Bomb tower to snipe. Just tanks long enough for that.
Tries to
Golden Knight.
tornado out of range. Doesn't quite hit it.
But with the Tesla, that will still be his hitting tower.
There'll be a lot of damage there. Sandy Creek not quite being able to defend all this.
With that E-Giant into Expo, you really don't have any opportunity to get a good offensive push if you're always saving it for that Expo.
Having Mini Pekka with this E-Giant, or going into the E-Giant, it's going to make it a lot harder for Sandy Creek to win this.
If this Expo deck is playing Rocket, though, this game could already be over.
It's either Rocket or Fireball, most likely anyways.
Indeed. But with these dual decks, you can see some weird spells in decks. Not enough time to get that tower
It is
on
going
the
to be
left
a
screen
Rocket.
here. There's the Rocket.
Just going to need a couple rockets. Is that 2? 3.
That is 2 Rockets. But possibly a couple tornadoes, maybe an Expo hit or 2. But they'll likely just go with the defensive Expo. We'll have to see.
If Central Valley plays his cards right, this should be a wrap.
Take a pretty big mistake here for Sandy
Or-
Creek to win.
Or a really good play from Sandy Creek, but
Indeed. Only 257 left. Central Valley leaking, not cycling cards to get to that Rocket.
Tornado is on the King Tower.
That mini P.E.K.K.A really helps Expo in this matchup here.
And that's game.
There we go.
Central Valley 2-1 over Sandy Creek.
Sandy Creek will have to win the next 2 duels in order to take away the championship. Valkyrie Connect on this left screen here. Takes tower. Good damage from Logbay and single elixir, but we'll see if they can defend this beatdown push.
With the Inferno Tower, if that's what he's running, it should be quite doable, but
We have seen a lot of that Logbay without a building.
doesn't quite have enough elixir for anything at the moment. Looks like that's going to be a lot of damage on his tower.
Valkyrie comes in late, but it's still not quite taking tower. Still leaves them ahead. Goblin Barrel comes out early, decides not to tank with that Valkyrie.
Looks like Sandy Creek's going to go in for a hog at the bridge. Gets countered by the Tornado. That is big for Central Valley, getting that King Tower activated early against the Hog Rider. But Franklin 2 gets the mini P.E.K.K.A connection and baits out the Fireball off of Franklin 1.
That's a 2 towers down.
Franklin 2 up 2 towers against Franklin 1.
But we've seen this E-Golem 3 crown multiple times here today.
He might be able to make a comeback here. And he emoted.
And that's illegal. Alrighty. Wow. Is there any way to enforce that? Is that supposed to be
You
a
know,
forfeit?
I'm not entirely sure.
I mean, that's one way to do it, I guess.
Right side looks like Sandy Creek has about half a tower of a lead currently.
We've seen a lot of mini P.E.K.K.A today. Very interesting, especially in conjunction with a building. Oftentimes you'll see those little tank killers sometimes replace the building in a deck.
Are really running both, which really helps against some of those matchups.
Yeah, especially with a lot of Hog Rider. When they outcycle your building, you can just use those tank killers.
Looks like that Lumber Loon's gonna get through though. That's
Defensive
a lot of
rage
damage here.
on that Goblin Barrel.
That tower? Not quite.
Fireball on the mini P.E.K.K.A. It gets 1 hit, and that is in just a couple log range. Here comes the Princess, takes the tower. There's the 3
And
crown.
that is a 3 crown for Franklin 2. Tying it up 1-1 with Franklin 1.
Central Valley ahead with a good early Lumber Loon. We're going to have to see if they can close it out. Tesla is a building. should make this defense possible, but maybe
Tesla
not
and
easy.
Fireball.
Tesla and Fireball really
Along with
helps.
the Electro Wizard. If he just keeps Stuff and Cycle, Sandy Creek should have this one. But it's hard to
Indeed.
tell, though.
Hard to tell.
Central Valley does not have a big spell, so you never know.
Indeed. Especially with that Fireball, even with the knockback, it's difficult to get even balloon death damage there.
It's going to be hard for Sandy Creek to get any connections with
Here
that
comes the
Hog, though.
Lumberloon. Hi, Tesla. And here comes the E-Wiz, and that balloon will not be doing anything. Here comes the Knight with the Witch. Any arrows for that Dark Goblin? No, goes for the Hog instead. That'll be a lot of Dark Goblin value. But no building. There comes last second. And that should full defend the Hog with the King Tower to help.
It's going to be hard for Sandy Creek to get any Hogs through when he's going into Tornado, Cannon, Dark Goblin, and Mini Becca.
Indeed.
Which opposite lane? Does it turn around?
Those skeletons do help to pull at least. There, it turns and gets
There we
one
go.
hit. Boom. That's still not even death damage. Good Knight on that Dark Goblin.
Really good defense from Sandy Creek. And
Indeed.
Central Valley. Both players are just defending like pros here.
Once we get a triple elixir here, we'll be able to see some fireballs on that tower.
Looks like he's leaking a bit of elixir here. Doesn't quite know what to place down.
But a little bit of leaking from the other side as well. There's an E-Bobs in the back. Likely going for some split lane pressure. Or just going to preemptively defend. Balloon on the inside. Misses the
It's
pull.
like he misses the Tesla.
But with the reset on the E-Wiz,
That's
there's
still
still
gonna
a
be
chance.
death damage.
Stops the Dark Goblin.
That's one E-Barb on tower though.
They're going to need to do something for that E-Barber. That will take the game. Comes the Fireball. E-Barb does not
Both
quite even
towers
get
down to 200. 300.
There comes the Tesla.
No balloon.
No balloon at all.
Late
We're
balloon.
going to have arrows here. Arrows hits the cannon. That might be a hog hit. E-Wiz stuns it.
That's
one Fireball.
One arrows. Does Sandy Creek have this? Just has to defend for 10 seconds or popping arrows right here.
There comes the arrows.
And there's the arrows.
Great close game.
Sandy Creek barely winning that one.
Wow.
Some of those pushes were really good with those really clean defenses.
Indeed.
Especially with both of those decks having such good answers for the other person's win condition.
And then it just comes to having more spells there.
It's hard when you're playing duels though. You can't have the same spells
Can't
in
have
every
the same
deck.
spells. Indeed. There's a lot of players playing one, sometimes no spells.
On the left, Franklin 1 takes the set 2-1.
Mighty Miner easily defends both lanes from that push there.
Looks like it's going to be a Mighty Miner, potentially Miner control.
Indeed, leaks a little. Although we may be seeing a Hog Rider here. Never know.
Going into Goblin Giant, potentially Sparky. No E-Barbs though,
Indeed.
right?
Maybe. Depends if they've got Rage or another spell.
With that Electro Spirit and the Mighty Miner, it might be really hard for Central Valley to get any value with that Sparky.
Indeed. But they do have Zap for that Mighty Miner, which will help. Sparky
It's like that
splashes
Sparky
both.
gets on tower though.
Splashes both wall breakers. They don't manage to split a time. And that will be the tower. Can Central Valley find another tank in front of that Sparky? They do not. Sparky still gets a hit on King Tower. Equal elixir and down a tower. It's going to be difficult for Sandy Creek to pull this off. We may be going into a game 3 here.
Especially when you're playing a deck like this, it's quite hard to get those towers back. Looks like Franklin 1 is going for the Skeleton Barrel Mirror clone.
we
Interesting deck archetype. but
Possibly see,
has to defensive freeze from Franklin 2.
we may see a giant skeleton in with that. Clone and Mirror. While often struggles to find value, can be incredibly deadly when you're unexpecting it.
Looks like this Sparky is just taking all of Sandy Creek's elixir to defend.
Leaving that Knight and that Goblin to take half the King Tower.
This Sparky's just getting so much value.
Sparky
Sandy
on the
Creek
tower
does
still.
not seem to quite defend it. Central Valley is just playing this matchup so good. He just keeps applying pressure and defending with the little bit that he needs to still have a good push going.
Both wall breakers connect. Miner gets drawn all the way back for some really good firecracker value. Zap, not enough to take them out. Bats will come in the tank.
Enough splash?
Not enough.
Not quite. Central Valley gets game 2.
Sandy
Take
Creek
us to a game 3.
Sandy Creek had a great offense at the end there, but it wasn't quite enough to pull out the victory.
Not quite enough. That's a lot of what happens at the beginning of the game in single elixir. All that chip damage adds up.
Indeed. Game 3. Nice raid at the bridge. And another firecracker. We've seen firecracker in just about every single duel deck today.
It's just firecracker's so hard to deal with if you don't have the correct cards for it.
Yeah, it's a very strong card.
Especially in duels, you don't.
You can't play arrows every game. You can't play fireball every game. You see a lot of log and zap, which just doesn't kill it.
On the left, looks like Franklin 2 is going to be having 400 damage left on the tower. Don't know if he's going to be able to finish that off.
Sandy Creek here expertly defends that with the kite with the ice spirit and the pullback with the Valkyrie, which will also possibly kill that. If ice spirit pulls it back, it doesn't kill the firecracker.
Does he
May give them
activate
King Tower here.
It's not.
Places that Inferno Tower late and high. A good counter, but no King Tower.
Looks like both players are defending really good so far.
Indeed. It's Logbait playing into that Hunter, which can help counting that Goblin Barrel. But with likely the Rocket, any Hunters in the back might get some free tower damage.
Don't know. Central Valley might also have a spell here. Potentially an Earthquake, could see.
Indeed.
Hunter doesn't
Hunter
even get
goes
the shot
down.
off. Fire Spirit cleans that up, though.
There's the King Tower activation.
Place that really high.
Yeah, but when it's closer to the center there, it still works.
I don't
But
know if I've seen it that high before.
Yeah. It very often splashes the opposite lane tower when you do that. But you managed to place it just
You got
early
it at the
enough.
perfect spot, though.
Yeah.
Perfect timing. Yes, that activated King Tower is going to be incredibly helpful against that Hog Rider. He'll get so much less chip.
Here's the Goblin Barrel. Log to defend. Can he out-cycle, though? If he manages to use that Mighty Miner 3-card cycle,
Uses
he
the
likely
Mighty
won't.
Miter ability. Catches the Goblin Gang and gets a bunch of Firecracker splash. That's a
Great
lot
play.
of damage.
The Goblin Barrel here, is he back to Log? No, he is not, but he's back to the Hunter. Doesn't place it in that right spot. Placing it directly behind just in time.
Starts rocket cycling already.
Barely down Elixir, though. That should work out for him. Mighty Miner at the bridge.
Really should. Good split lane pressure here, but
There's the Inferno
don't
Tower.
know if it's going to be enough.
A little bit late, but pulls both cards.
Really good defenses from Sandy Creek here.
Loses that Log. Always so cautious for that Log on offense, but that may be what they need in order to get enough damage here.
We'll see if Sandy Creek has a Goblin Barrel in response to that.
Here it comes.
Does. Has log back in cycle though. Firecracker just splashing on the tower.
But not even enough to get equal with the other side. There's the Mighty Miner on the Princess. But that Valkyrie and Princess will take it out.
If Sandy Creek could just keep defending, get a couple rockets on tower.
Leaking a lot. Misses the Fire Spirit full counter. That Hunter may splash tower here. Nope, about to defend. But now, still at 10 Elixir. But gets the Inferno Tower
Save a
just
log
right.
here. Does. Some really good defenses from Sandy Creek and Central Valley.
Yeah.
It's really hard to defend log bait when you're both playing a cycle deck and this is just a bit faster than yours.
Yeah.
Central Valley just can't quite find any breakthroughs with that Hog Rider. Going into that right there. Too late
That's
of
a
an
big-
Inferno Tower.
Big connection, but it's not enough to gain a lead.
Without Central Valley having a big spell, it's going to be hard, and especially when he's going into Sandy Creek, who has the rocket.
There's the
Just-
rocket. It's one more, or maybe a couple goblin hits.
One
There's
tricky
the
barrel.
log. One tricky barrel. But missing a tricky barrel also allows the log on offense. But there comes the rocket, and that is the game.
That is the game. Right there, Sandy Creek winning 2-1 over Central Valley in that set.
Wow. Some good close overtime games.
Some really close ones. Right there, both those players had such good defenses and attacks that they just not having that big spell really hurt them at the end. But really well
Indeed.
played from both of them, though.
Hog Rider wall breakers. Comes with the Goblin Gang to kill those wall breakers, finish them off after that log. Zap takes out the Spirit Goblins, get the hog hit. Goblin Barrel with Valk to tank. Valkyrie comes in late, does not hit all 3 goblins. It's difficult timing to get. You have to see that Goblin Barrel immediately to get that Valkyrie full counter.
Or have it pre-placed there, expecting it.
Yes. Good Firecracker protection with the Ice Spirit. They'll continue to get a hit on that tower without anything else. Although they may activate King Tower. Opts to tank the hit instead.
We'll see. Central Valley going in for
Hog
the
Rider
early push.
Skarmy. Early push, but that mini P.E.K.K.A. But both towers shooting it. Only damage can come from the Spear Goblins. Log comes in late. They still get 2 hits each.
Easy 300 damage, though. Looks like Sandy Creek might be playing a Hog Rider deck here.
Great Valkyrie with
Oh,
tanking for
Franklin got
those
a lot
Goblin
of
Giant.
damage on the left.
Indeed. Without having a good small spot to take out care of those goblins, any sort of tank with that Goblin Barrel is sure to get a ton of damage. Franklin, too, really needs to save that Skarmy for the Goblin Barrel. There's the Sparky in the back. Will they go for King Tower here? Will they ignore? At the Monk, a great counter for that Sparky.
That Monk is going to make it very difficult for Central Valley to do much.
Ability comes
especially
out a
with
little
the
bit
Spear
early.
Goblins.
Only 1 hit on that Sparky, but the log is enough to finish it off.
That Monk is going to be quite useful for Sandy Creek.
Great defense by Franklin, but allows that Skarmy on the left side. Good
Just
job
needs
rocking the
one
wall
rocket,
breakers.
though, on the left tower.
I'll get a raise on the left.
To use the defensive rage to
Misses the rocket with those wall breakers, but the Inferno Tower is enough to defend them. But a Hog Rider here with a good Fireball and Zap could be the game.
We'll see if Central Valley activates King Tower here. So not.
Fireball comes in a little bit late.
Takes
It's not enough. We're back to Rocket here.
that Phoenix placement was quite unfortunate. And then with that Inferno Tower there.
Valkyrie comes in just in time to stop those wall
This
breakers.
Monk ability.
Monk ability comes early. That Sparky will stay alive.
Thought Sparky would have shot it. It would have bounced back and hit the tower. Which
Would have been huge damage. Misses the rocket again.
pretty sure that's a
that's
form of BMing. but
BM, yeah.
it's, okay.
Oh well. Sure. Go ahead and do that at the state tournament.
Why not? I
Very,
guess.
very respectful.
Yep.
Wall breakers connect and he loses. Deserved.
That is
Very
the
much
most
so.
karma ever.
I love to see that so
That's
much.
what happens when you be a bit too toxic.
That is my favorite thing to see in this game.
2-1. Tried to go way too toxic with it.
Yep.
Got a
Missing
bit of
2
karma there.
rockets. Monk ability comes in late to block that fireball. That fireball cycle is going to be very effective here.
It's like that
Good earthquake
pre-earthquake.
prediction. stopping that Skarmy and
That's
gets
some really
2
good
hog
damage.
hits. Along with that Firecracker. Goblin Giant, Spirit Goblins will take out that Firecracker.
We'll see though.
Early Rage.
With these Sparky Goblin Giant decks, you could get one good push and change the whole tide of the game.
Indeed. But with just
Like right here.
like right here, that,
That
mini
mini
P.E.K.K.A.
P.E.K.K.A.
connection. Some good hits.
It's a lot of damage there.
Just a couple fireballs, maybe another good push.
Just a bit of a defense. It's
But
really
with-
hard with the not having a building going against Hog Rider for Central Valley.
With that Earthquake and that Monk ability, all they need is just a
Going
couple
with the
small
offensive
offenses.
Skarmory.
Log comes in, misses a couple skeletons, but Ice Spirit cleans up. Fireball comes in on that Inferno Tower.
It's the Monk as well.
Just a great defense, though. Makes the Earthquake. That's still a hog hit. All
That's-
you need is a log.
Yeah. Looks like that's going to be game right
Really
there.
good, close game.
That was a really close one for Sandy Creek.
And it's
Played that really good with his defense and offense.
Indeed.
Just making it so Central Valley couldn't build up like a massive push with that Sparky or
Indeed.
Goblin Giant.
Some great plays with that Monk there, taking out that Sparky.
Oh yeah.
Goblin
Looks like
Drill first play.
Central Valley's playing drill. You really do not see that really anymore.
Yeah. Just interesting. As you
It's
see a
like-
lot more wall breakers with that miner. And in dual decks, you can only have one deck with wall breakers.
Sandy Creek is gonna go in with the E-Giant.
Going for that tower trade.
I
But with a good King Tower activation here with that Mega Knight. Opts for the
interesting
Bar Barrel
bets.
instead. Misses. And Mega Knight connects the tower. Goblin
Looks
getting
like
low.
that's gonna be a bit of a
Tower trade.
oh.
Tornado's the King Tower. Saves that tower with 800 health. And that's going to be some good King Tower damage.
It's really good for Sandy Creek.
Any sort of tank. Never mind. Just decides to save their elixir. Probably the good play here. Or up a tower.
Yeah, you don't want to give Central Valley too much of a push, especially with this Mega Knight drill deck.
Will we see a spell with that drill though? Already showed Fireball with that Sparky, which is what you typically see with that drill. Possibly a poison though. No small spell then.
I think he's used. He could have Snowball, but
He could. Good Mega Knight defense.
and then drill here. Bomber was opposite lane. He doesn't have much for this.
Good job to bait that there. Here comes the Bar Barrel.
Gets
Good
the
timing.
Really good timing from Sandy Creek, killing the barrel and the spawned goblins at the same time.
Defends the Barbarian. Here comes the Baby Dragon in the back. Looks like they're both building up in the back here. You're going to see an E-Giant with this. There it is. That
Might be-
zap. And
Might need like a defensive drill or something.
indeed.
It's the issue going against this E-Giant.
There's the
without a
tornado.
building.
E-Giant probably holding on to a lightning here with no need to use it with that tornado on the wizard. Mega Knight comes back to kill the Phoenix Egg. Good kite back with that Barbarian. No tank for the drill.
Yeah. It's really hard for Central Valley to defend any of these E-Giant pushes without a building.
Indeed. Comes E-Giant. Might need a defensive drill if they're going to win this game. Then they're struggling to get that offense.
Drills his only offense though. He has to get one good push here. See if
Indeed.
he gets anything.
Get that Bar Barrel comes in again.
Bar
It's not
barrel
enough.
timings.
No
Sandy
big spell.
Creek's defense is just amazing right now.
Great
That's
game.
a good game right there. It's like Sandy Creek wins it.